This episode of the TDLA podcast is brought to you by Russian Mail Order Bride. Russian Mail Order Bride is celebrating 100 years of business, and they just rolled out a new service, the Rent-A-Bride service.
Now, Shaun, correct me if I'm wrong, you actually just tried the Rent-A-Bride service.
I did, and I had a great experience, actually. I met up with some old college buddies. They're all married. I didn't want to feel left out, so I used the Rent-A-Bride service.
That's great.
It was great.
Do you have a promo code?
Yes, if you want to use the Mail Order Bride or Rent-A-Bride, use Shaun's Bride 1 and you'll get 10% off your first purchase.
Rent-A-Bride, where you can find out if it's happening.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
In this episode of Two Dudes in LA, the dudes waste an enormous amount of time talking about Star Wars, and then a very angry and probably very lonely Star Wars fan stops by. Then the dudes try not to laugh at Uranus and fail. Consequently, Shaun presents a forward by Justin Rowland. Well, it's the first episode, so who would actually be listening anyway? All of that and more on today's episode of the TDLA podcast.
All right. It's a new year.
It's a new year. New year, new me is what I say.
2018.
2018. How did you feel 2017 was?
2017.
For you personally.
Personally,
Yes.
It was a huge year of change.
Yeah. Because just so you came out to LA the beginning of the year, right?
First week of January.
Wow. So it's officially a year.
I hit my first year. Yeah.
Congrats, bro. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I know. I made it. I made
did
it.
Good for you,
And
man.
you're going on 2 years.
2 years in June. So a year and a half right now. A year and a half right now.
That's great.
It's crazy, dude. It is crazy. Hey, everybody. I hope your 2018 is going great. My name is Alex Watson. Friends call me Watson, though, so please, by all means, call me that. To my left, I have my dear buddy, Shaun. Shaun, please say hello.
Hello, audience. Thank you for listening to us, and hopefully you enjoy this show that we've put together for you.
I hope so. I actually think you will. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry, everybody. So I'm really excited to do this podcast because me and my buddy Shaun, we have a really great, fun friend dynamic. I feel like my weaknesses are your strengths, and I feel like you're really fun and easy to talk to. So this was all Shaun's idea. So when Shaun came with me with this idea, I was like, yes, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's make this fun. And it's Los Angeles, so we have to have a podcast. It's just what we have to do.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Otherwise, you're not a real Angelino.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Have a cat or a dog, and then have a podcast. So, which I just got a cat today, so I'm an Angelino finally.
You're it?
Yeah. Let's tell the audience a little bit about ourselves, if that sounds cool. I mean, you go ahead. This was your idea, so I feel like you should go ahead and hit him with it. What's you? Who are you?
Who am I? That's a good question. We're both from Utah. We're both Utahns,
Yes.
And I grew up in a town just outside of Salt Lake City, and I've always just kind of been, I guess, artistically minded.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of been geared towards entertainment stuff. I thought I was going to be an actor for a while, but I've been drawing my whole life. So as I got older, it just made sense that if I want to work in entertainment, that for me, animation is my thing. So
Totally.
So I'm going for animation. That's what I moved out here for.
Okay.
Man, and I knew I picked a tough industry, but I did not know it was this tough. But we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I what I love about animation, I can't draw worth shit, but what I've noticed and learned and picked up from you is how tight knit the community of animators are. But they're also very willing to and open. You've told me some really cool stories about meeting certain animators and storyboard artists and things like that, and that's been really fascinating. And I've hung out with your animation group, and I'm sure we'll talk about them for a while, or in the future. But I think that's super cool. What is you mentioned that it's a difficult industry for you? What makes it difficult?
it's just super competitive. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's small,
Yeah.
and once you're in, like, everybody kind of knows everybody. You do different jobs for different studios, and you get to know who everyone is. And it really is one of those, like, it's all about who you know.
Totally.
Like, I've sent out hundreds of applications to studios over the last 4 years since I've graduated college, and I haven't had one interview. But so I'm out here in LA, and I'm building a network, and I'm making the right impressions on the right people, and
Totally.
things are starting to actually look good this year. You know, I just
Awesome.
recently, well, I guess it was September, October, I went to a mixer, like networking mixer with some animators, and this guy Shaun, who's the production manager at
Now, real quick,
Nickelodeon.
this was the one that took place on the roof, right? Or is this a
This
different
was on
one?
the roof of Cartoon Network. It was really
Roof
fun.
on the Cartoon
And
Network.
I got a shout out
everybody.
to the Animation Network, who I'm actually wearing their shirt today.
What?
Chris Wimberly and the Animation Network. Yeah, they're great. Chris is great, and honestly, he's a big reason why I moved to LA so soon, and he's an influence for this podcast.
Awesome.
But when I was at that mixer, I saw Shaun Genka, who's a friend of Chris's, and he looked at me, and the first thing he said is, "I owe you an email."
Whoa.
Like it was really cool that he remembered me, and he remembered
Totally.
that I had emailed him, and then he kind of gave me a tip that, by the way, we might be hiring for this new show soon, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, it lets me know that, like, I'm meeting the right people, I'm making the right impressions, and I feel like this is the year. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. We're making moves.
Absolutely. And see, what I find so fascinating about LA is there's so many people like you and I, obviously, here trying to get into the entertainment business that, and it's what we constantly think about and hope about, and why we're here. Like, we literally moved here to find a job. And so it's nice to have outlets like a podcast to kind of, like, release some stress, like, talk about stuff, and, like, honestly, we may not have 0 listeners, but if I can just have fun with you, talk to you about whatever the hell I want, we have a really fun segments coming up here that we'll introduce you to. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's important is, like, you have such this drive, but it's important to take breaks. And for those out there who are looking to maybe move to LA, Shaun's a great example of, like, what you should do is, like, come out here, meet up with people you may know if you don't know anybody. Like, literally, he came out here. How did you find about this like animation group that you have?
Well, so before I moved out here, I was living in Utah, and I was driving for Uber, and I was listening to the Animation Network podcast, and I was just binging it. I mean, they had like 50, 60 episodes, and I was just going through it. And last November, they announced on their Twitter that they were doing a mixer in LA.
Nice.
And when I saw that, I knew instantly. I was like, I need to go to this. I need to figure
Perfect.
out how to get there, and
Yeah.
I need to, because the thing about Salt Lake is, I had never really interacted with industry professionals out there. They're really not out there. There's no industry. In fact, over the last few years, a lot of the animation studios out there have closed down. So, I mean, up until that point, the only professional I had interacted with was one of my college professors. He actually worked on Disney during, like, Pocahontas and stuff. He's
Wow.
a really cool guy.
That's cool.
But I planned the trip, and I drove almost 10 hours out to LA for a 4-hour meetup.
Dude.
But it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
And worth it.
surrounded by, absolutely. I mean, I was surrounded by storyboard artists on shows on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, and background artists and designers and people in production, and I was able to just, like, soak up as much as I could, just like a sponge. And the message that was really loud and clear was, you got to be out here where your industry is.
Totally.
So 2 months later, I moved out here. Like,
Dude,
that was it.
that's so bad. That's so awesome. So badass. I said so bad and then stopped.
It's terrible.
badass.
I don't
That's
know
so
why I
bad.
did it.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. What prompted your move?
Okay. Well, I moved out, like I said, 1.5 years. I've been wanting to move out to LA for quite some time. I have made so many short films. You can, if you want to look at them, JWAP Productions, just type it in Google, you'll find it. But what really kind of finally prompted me to move out here, I wanted to be an actor, like, you know, kind of like what you were saying. But then I started, like, out of necessity, I started to edit and direct my own stuff. And then I started to realize that I have a lot more fun with that. So, you know, in order to make money doing it and making it a professional career, and I wanted to tell feature-length stories. And that was always been in my mind. I've done so many shorts and, like, short films, and, like, I was like, I want to make a feature film. And I kind of felt like, actually, there was two big things that finally pushed me. So I was living in Salt Lake as well. And I watched the movie Straight Outta Compton because if, you know, they went through so much, like so much, and still came up on top and are now the biggest hip hop, rap, now some of them, you know, TV actors of all time. And through all the stuff they had to go through, like, they made it. And so I was like, I have no excuse. Like, I need to get out there and do what I need to do. The second movie I watched was the Chris Farley documentary.
Oh,
Chris
I haven't
Farley's,
seen that yet.
Oh, it's great. And it's pretty cheap right now on Amazon. And I'm a big comedy guy. I really love, like, all that stuff. So Chris Farley is the man. And, like, he just talked about how he had this, like, full ride scholarship to, like, play football or something like that. And then one day he just got on stage with his buddy, and who we'll have to bring on the podcast. I know him. And he got on stage with his buddy and was like, you know, and just made people laugh and was like, I want to do this for a living. And then it just showed his career, and it, you know, it just kind of was the same feeling. And like, I just got this feeling of like, you have no excuse. You have money to move out here. I didn't have a lot, but I had enough. And that's another thing. You don't need that much. Like don't get me wrong. You'll need enough. You'll need quite a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, if I can add to that,
Please.
When I was considering moving to LA, I was like researching how much is it going to take, and these articles were saying like you need $5,000 to do it comfortably. I had $1,500 to my name.
Yeah, that's about what I had.
And it got me by for like a month, but you know, I found a job and then I got settled.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it. And, you know, we, like, everyone has been told our whole lives, like, you can be whatever you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why more people don't try and go for it.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is scary. But,
in LA, I'm just going to be honest with you, coming from and you might feel differently. I'm not a huge fan of LA. At some moments, it's the best city in the entire world. And I'm like, I can't believe that I'm in this city. But then almost like within minutes or hours or whatever, I'm just like, I hate this freaking, I hate this town.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it's such a love-hate relationship, like my ex-wife. But, you know, I was trying to hit the laugh. Because, you know, if people don't laugh at my jokes, I can make it happen. So
exactly. We have our own audience right here.
Yeah, we have our audience right here. So, but yeah, so anyways, long story short, I was, yeah. So I moved out here June of 2016, and I've been hustling ever since and just working hard. Editing seems to be the route for some crazy reason. That's another thing I never thought in a million years. Like, if you told me maybe 3-ish, 2-ish probably even years ago, like, hey, Watson, you're going to be an editor, I would have been like, no. Like, I don't like editing. It's not, you know, that's not my thing. But honestly, I love it, and I've learned to love it, and I get to work in the industry because of it, and I got to work with some amazing people because of it.
Oh,
and
I mean, tell them some of the projects that you've worked on and the people that you've worked with.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I mean, go brag.
You know, well, that was me. I pushed.
He's worked with some big names already.
Yeah, I mean, I do try not. I mean, I know I'm being funny, but I'm really just trying to, like, you know, because here's the thing, you thank you, but you know, you can literally be working for Steven Spielberg one day and then living on the streets the next day. And I know we're not trying to discriminate people from like coming, but like that's just the reality, and you got to accept that. So, having said that, I moved out here. I was getting a lot of editing. Like I'm a big improv guy. I love doing improv. So a lot of my improv friends who are into comedies would reach out to me and say, "Oh, you know how to edit. Can you edit this for me? I'll pay you." And I was like, paying me? That's nice. Like, because I would edit things, you know, in Utah. No offense against Utah. You know, a lot of people are more doing it for passion, which is great. I think you have to start that way. But yeah, it just kind of started to snowball. So eventually I got a gig with Media Nursery where I got to edit trailers for some big games like Tomb Raider and now I want to say this didn't happen overnight. This was probably 8 months ish, and to be fair, it was only because I have edited so many things prior. So
you had a good resume coming into it.
Yeah, and like I had a reel and everything. Like everyone kept telling me that, so it didn't just happen overnight. So anyway, but yeah, so and then ultimately it led to I edited season 3 trailer of Grace and Frankie, and then that kind of led to I got to work for Soul Pancake with Rainn Wilson, and that was awesome.
Okay, wait. I texted Watson. I don't remember what it was for, but you were just like, "Let me text you back. I'm in Rainn Wilson's office." I was like, "What?"
I know. That was pretty crazy to be in like.
He interviewed you personally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and to be with yeah, it was nuts. I try and downplay all these things because you just don't want things to go to your head because then you just become an asshole, and I don't want to become an asshole. So
yeah,
I get what you're saying. If you want to have me go into details about things, let me know. But I'm probably just gonna skim over it because I don't want to come off bragging. But that led to, did some videos for them. That led to like a few other jobs, but I was mostly working for them. And then one day. I was on LinkedIn. I literally created LinkedIn like a week before it because I hate LinkedIn. But hey, if it gets you a job, and I applied for a job that was under full screen. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, I currently am a lead editor over at Fox Studios. So,
yeah, killing it.
Okay.
He actually helped on the live Christmas story that just happened.
Yeah,
which
I did
is
Christmas Story live.
Pretty cool.
I just did an X-Files promo. I was very happy about that. Doing a lot of promos for the 4. Most of it is focused on promos and stuff like that. But hey, if I can become a trailer editor, that sounds great to me. So, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm pretty. I won't lie though. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I had this thought the other day. I have shit in Fox Studios. Like I know that like everyone always asks me questions of like, oh, that's so. Everyone's always asked me like, oh, what's like, and don't get me wrong, walking on like, because I work on Fox Studios, but like everyone.
Not to shit on Fox.
Not to literally. But like, I don't know. I just think like, man, how many like there's like movie stars that have been here. Cool, whatever. But
who else is sat on this
yeah,
toilet?
Who else is shit here? Holy shit. So I don't know. It's been, and I know that's just a random thing, but that's something I like. Those are the weird things I think about of like, yeah, this is cool, but like who has shit here? So
no, it is cool. Like you're finally settled, you're financially stable.
For now.
You've got a regular job. You're not going from gig to gig.
No.
And a couple other, like you did some Smosh work and you did some work with Kevin Smith. So I just wanted to throw those out there. I mean, I know like, because we've been in LA long enough, we're starting to get used to this stuff, but for someone who's like in the Midwest, they're like, what? You worked with Kevin Smith? You interviewed by Rainn Wilson? Like, it's a cool thing. Like, I don't have that kind of claim to fame. So
well, but you're gonna happen.
So I'll brag soon for you.
But I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna brag to you or about you. So Shaun didn't mention 2 things. One, he didn't get like an interview, but he did get to draw. Can I say this? Well, we're going to find out. We can edit this out if not. He did get to do a interview audition type thing, packet thing for Big Mouth.
Oh yeah, it's called a storyboard test.
And
that's really thanks to the gentleman whose basement I rent out.
See,
he's an editor.
People.
He edits for television. Jody McVeigh-Schultz, he's a great guy.
Cool. Should get him on sometime.
Right, I would love to have him on. And he's done work on Drunk History,
awesome.
Last Chance U, and he just did Big Mouth the first season.
Awesome.
And I don't know what he did, but they sent me a storyboard test, and though I didn't get the position, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And now I kind of have that for my portfolio.
Yep.
And
Speaking of portfolio, and then my friend, she has been doing some awesome sketches and things like that. She kind of posted about Facebook about needing a animator, and sometimes when people post, you don't know if you're going to get paid or not, but I always send it to Shaun just in case. And that's the thing, is like having friends and helping out each other. So I sent that to you, and it's super cool. Like we'll have to post it on our social media, but like which, by the way, we haven't said TDLA at anything. So Instagram TDLA, Twitter TDLA, all that stuff. We'll get to all that very soon, but we're gonna post it on the social media. So, but that was awesome. So Shaun, he like put live action people. Or he didn't put them there, but with live action footage, he animated awesome, like little woodland creatures. It's awesome. So check it out.
Thanks, man. It was a really fun project. I worked on it for like a month, and it paid like a month's rent.
So cool.
It was about 3 or 4 minutes of animation, and it was a good experience. Like I designed, I animated the characters, and I even like did the shading and motion tracking,
Awesome.
and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And that's kind of been my niche, is like 2D animation superimposed into live action shots.
Awesome.
When I was still living in Salt Lake City last summer, I worked on this project for about 4 months where I would do these vlogs like about animation topics.
Yeah.
And then each video had like an animated surprise. And in those videos, I was like eaten by a giant spider. I was lit on fire for the 4th of July.
So cool.
Pokemon Go was really big at the time, so I like spoofed Pokemon Go for one of my episodes. I had a conversation with Cheshire Cat. It was fun. It was a fun project. So yeah, that's kind of it's been my niche, I guess, is 2D animation over live action.
Awesome.
So, and I like how it looks. It's kind of
It's cool
to see. So.
I'm a huge fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and so like anytime that happens, I'm like, this is awesome. I was hoping that what was it? Don't Mess with Zorn or Zohan. No,
the Adam Sandler?
No.
Oh, Son of Zorn.
Son of Zorn. I was mixing the two.
Don't mess with the Zorn.
Yeah, Son of Zorn. I was hoping that would work because I thought the concept was really good, but maybe people couldn't grasp it. That's a Fox show, but
actually, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Our first guest next week, Gia, she interned at Titmouse on Son of Zorn.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Well, great. We'll have
we'll be able to
about
talk to her about that.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. Well, we wanted to get that kind of out of the way. I'm sure, please feel free to ask us any questions. We're very open about that kind of stuff. But we wanted to kind of get it out of the way. At least I wanted to, just because this podcast isn't about... It's especially about our opinions, but we don't want to just sit here and talk about ourselves all day. Everyone does that in a podcast. We want to make this a little more fun. So we're going to... unless you had something else you want to talk about...
I wanted to get ourselves out of the way early in the first episode, because it's not about that. It's kind of about just our experiences here, perspectives, I guess, because it really is a stark contrast coming from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles. Yeah. And I have some stories already that
totally.
I know that we're going to share over time, so I'm looking forward to that. But
and on that note,
this one's longer.
Man,
oh yeah,
that's juicy. Awesome. So now we're going to do a couple different. First we're just going to kind of open discuss about some things. Yeah, don't worry. So you panic. We're going to first talk about. We're just going to talk. We're going to express our opinions about stuff. You guys, we want you to join in on the conversation as well. We want you, as we talk about these things, and we want to hear your opinions. So. Let's jump into our social media. So please, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube, and Gmail. So TDLA podcast should find most of those things for you.
There you go.
And yeah, tweet us, ask us questions, give us your opinion on things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, with opinions on things, we're going to talk about the Logan Paul controversy. That little shithead. We're going to talk about his little controversy. So feel free to express your opinions about what we say and things like that, and we'll feature them on the episode and stuff. So let's talk about it. So YouTube is a huge... Okay, sorry. Let's let the audience know in case they don't know what happened. If you've been living under a rock. So basically what happened, a real big famous YouTuber or up and coming famous YouTuber, it depends on what you think, because he has 5 million views or 5 million subscribers. But
I'd say that's doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, compared to me, I only have 1,000, so whatever.
I only have like 4 million.
What? Dang. But yeah, he. But see, now he may not have as many like subscribers as like PewDiePie or someone like that, but he also hasn't started as long. But see, what counts is he gets views. Like he's hitting 8 million, 6 million views a video, which is insane.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Dude,
I saw his face and I didn't like it too much. So
see, and like I'm a big. You'll probably find this out with we're going to do another segment later on about funny clips and stuff. I love Vine, and that's where Logan Paul came from. But Logan was never someone who like spoke to me necessarily. Like I've never been a big fan of his to begin with. However, I will say there's 2 of them. There's Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I know way too much, dude.
They're
sorry.
not related to Aaron Paul, are they?
No. Ugh, that'd be interesting. But see, Jake Paul got famous obviously because of his brother, but Jake Paul was like burning mattresses in the back of his like pool, and like he was like causing all this trouble with his neighbors, and he lives in this super huge
I think
house.
I heard stories about this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the Los Angeles News went to go interview him. He climbed on their car and like, dude.
Yep. I saw that.
So because of that, honestly, I was like, okay, Logan Paul is actually the more mature older brother. He is older, but I was like, okay, I actually respect Logan Paul a little bit better. I'm not going to say a lot.
In comparison, it's not that hard to look mature. But
Sure.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Well, the big news is Logan Paul went to Japan. And while he was there in Japan, he was doing a couple vlogs. That's his thing. And they decided to go to the Suicide Forest, which, I mean, that's not what they call it, obviously, but that's just what it's
like
known
nickname,
for.
Yeah,
it's what it's known for. Japan has a very, suicide is not something they talk about. It's looked down on. It's and so it causes a lot of unfortunate suicides. And so, well, this YouTuber, while he's filming, decides to go into the forest, and as he goes into the forest, he encounters a dead body. Now, Shaun, this is a question. If you encounter a dead body, like...
I immediately start filming it.
Well, great. That doesn't help.
And I live stream it.
Yeah. Okay, well, then you'll get along with this guy.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So, yeah, in my mind, go call the authorities, which, to be fair, he does. Yeah. However, before he does that, he's filming, like, he zooms in, he gets close-ups, like, he's making jokes, and, like... and, it's not just a dead body. This body, committed, not this body, this person, I'm sorry. This person has committed suicide. So, yeah, this has really pissed me off lately. And so let's talk, like, what are your thoughts about it, first off? Like, what is just your generalized thoughts? Like, when you first heard these words... What was like your first kind of impressions?
The first time I ever heard about this was actually I follow a lot of artists on Instagram, and one of them put on their story, they were like, if you start following Logan Paul after this, then you can go ahead and unfriend me. And I was like, what is this about? So that's when I looked into it.
Do you know who it was?
No, it was just somebody who like illustrates that I follow on Instagram.
Gotcha.
But so I looked into it, and yeah, you know what, like, the kid, I don't know how old he is. He's younger than me, I think. Yeah. And he's just used to doing... 22. I think he's just used to doing, like, these outrageous videos, and he's trying to push limits and get views. And, like Kathy Griffin, he just took it too far. Oh, yeah. He took it too far, and...
Just Kathy Griffin didn't do it with an actual head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
she didn't kill someone and take a picture.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's an interesting thought, though.
Even though like I don't like his face, like I feel bad for the situation he's in now, because like he built this kind of thing for himself, and it's like it seems like it's kind of crashing down, and who knows like how he's gonna bounce back from it.
Yeah.
But But yeah, he did take it too far, and it's hard to see it coming. But he didn't really play it safe either.
No.
I guess he prefaced the video with like, "Oh, this has graphic content."
Yeah, and he was
stuff.
he was like trying to make it all like serious and like. And he tried to have like a positive spin at the end, but you still recorded
But he missed it. Yeah,
I'm not even going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. I would have actually watched the video like if it went this way. If it started off with him being like his goofy self, and then was like, "We're going to go in here and we're going to find a body," and then if the camera cuts to black and is like, like in title says what happened, and then he comes back and is serious, didn't show the body. And was like, we came in, we were immature about it or something or whatever, or because I'm gonna be honest, like there were times like in my childhood where I was like, I'm gonna go into this spooky house because I know someone was murdered, and I think that was the mentality of what he was thinking. But suicide's a very real thing, and because he was so outside of their culture, he couldn't understand it. But I think I would have actually watched the video and appreciated Logan a lot better if he didn't show it, had this like sincere like one-on-one talk with like him and his audience, and just says like, I'm flabbergasted, I don't know what, But the damn fool showed the video, and like, I'm going to get personal with, you all. I mean, I have lost, I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm sure many of you have lost someone. I've lost 2 people to suicide, 2 really good friends to suicide. And I can just like, if in my mind, if I knew that someone found them and like recorded them, and like he said some like shitty jokes. Did you hear what like some jokes he said? Some friend was like, "I don't feel good," and then his joke back to him was, "What? You never been next to a dead body before?" And then started laughing, and like. A lot of people, because I posted this on social media, and a lot of social media people are like, that's how like when you're trying to cope with something that's that serious, like you don't know how to handle yourself, and I'm like, totally, I get that, but film it, that's in my end. In the end, all the other stuff can be debated, but in that core thing, he filmed it, he showed it to kids, and my last point is like. He has a demographic that are underage. Like most people who watch this stuff are underage. My little cousin, she's I think 14, 15. She watched it, and I know that's not too young, but to me, she's young. Like I've known her whole life. Like she's a very mature person, but she saw it. She saw the full video over the weekend before it was taken down, and like. I don't know. It was kind of
he has like a responsibility.
He does, at least, it affects his content isn't just affecting him. It affects so many people.
Well, unfortunately, like sometimes we don't know where the line is until we've already crossed it, and that's just what happened to him, And I fear doing that all the time. I've slipped up and like said something inappropriate at the wrong time or whatever, but this was just on a huge scale.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just see what happens to his career at this point. I mean, I think he still has followers. I've heard
He's
people
taking a break currently.
I've heard people be like, "Oh, well, he demonetized it," so people are like trying to justify why they can still follow him. So good luck to him, I guess.
I think he'll still keep going, and I just think he'll still, the other big issue is YouTube in general, but that's a whole other issue. I'm sure we can go down that path some other time. I don't want to focus on this too much because. I think we can all agree that Shaun, you're Shaun. I think we can all agree. I was going to say Aaron Paul because you put that in my brain now. I think we can all agree that Logan Paul is a piece of shit, right? Everybody, can we agree?
By a round of applause.
By a round of applause. You got 2 applauses going on. Woo! All right, that's a lot of that. You all agree. That's nice. So yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. What do you guys think? Hit us up. What do you guys think about this? Is it going to affect entertainment? Is it going to affect YouTube? Let us know what you guys think. Let us know your opinions. So, the next thing we want to talk about, and I think the final thing for this segment, is the Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
It has caused some interesting
Let's preface this with there might be spoilers.
Yes.
In fact, there almost most likely will be spoilers. So.
There will be spoilers.
So
please, if you haven't seen it, whoa. But hey, more power to you. But yeah, I think there definitely is going to be some spoilers. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, let's first just talk about what our general thoughts are. What did you think about Last Jedi?
Beautiful film, very well acted, great cast. I mean, Disney is obviously appealing to kids now. Like, they're trying to appeal to kids.
Porgs.
And there were just like some kind of cheap laughs. Is laughs
Some
plural for
laughs.
laughs? I mean, like the real like WTF moment for me was when Luke was milking that thing.
Oh my gosh, what the hell?
I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, you want to show like the crazy stuff that he does on the island to get by, but it was just a little too much.
Sure.
I almost feel like Mark Hamill was like, "You want me to do what?"
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill was pretty upset. At least it sounded like with this movie, but
Well, I did you see the video where he said like, "This isn't my Luke," like, and
see, he has since put out like an apologizing statement. But yeah, I mean, but see, and that's the thing is like he didn't see the movie yet. Like that just was his opinion, and now that he's seen the movie, you know. But yeah, sorry, keep going. So what else? So what would you like? Let's just real quick. Good, bad. What in your opinion?
good. And I would suggest, you know, if you like Star Wars or you like sci-fi, like definitely check it out. I mean, you have a huge budget film with a lot of big names on it. Like, you're gonna get a quality product. It's just they have this angle, like I said, where they're trying to appeal. They want to sell merch. They want to do all these things. So they have like these kind of like cheap jokes that fell flat for me sometimes, but I get it. I get what they're trying to do, and I still enjoyed it overall. Still beautiful, and I'd watch it again.
Totally. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think it was a good movie. I get why people are mad about it. I don't know why they're like super mad, but I really liked it. To me, I feel like it was a Star Wars heist movie, which, you know, Ryan Johnson is known for his heist movies, or at least two of them, and so
okay.
I could feel that's why there was some of that in there. But like, what I appreciate about it is you know, Force Awakens. A lot of people complained about how it was so much like the originals, but then like this movie comes out, which is nothing like the originals. And then they're complaining that it's not like, you know?
Yeah.
And like me, I like that. Like I was really worried about, you know, finding out about Luke. I was so big on, I feel like as a character, he needed to start a Jedi temple, which he does. Spoilers, but he does, which is awesome. So that was my only thing. I'm glad he did. And like, I loved the whole thing with Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren, honestly, is one of my favorite characters of like, now I don't want to be too crazy. I will say at least of these new ones. I need to process the series, the saga. Can I say that as a whole? But Kylo Ren is so interesting to me.
He's just there's just so much to his character.
Yeah,
you know, and the reveal with him and Luke was like, oh, what?
Oh,
so,
I know. Oh my gosh.
Did you see that coming?
No.
Yeah. So that was cool.
No, I mean I knew that something had to have happened, but like it totally made sense. My tiny little gripe about it, and I'm still trying to figure out, is Luke. So spoilers, but Luke dying at the end was really something I was not a fan of. Like
I was confused.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like,
not just because I didn't want him to die, but he shows up, he fights. The projection goes away, and then he dies, and so I was like, well, why didn't he just show up in person then?
Yeah.
Like,
it kind of makes him feel like, to me, feels like a coward. But it's like, and then a lot of people were saying, well, he didn't have a way to get there. And I'm like, well, maybe he could have got the ship out. You know, there's like a part where his ship's in there, but maybe it's not working. I don't know. But regardless, I was like, my biggest thing about it was, so Luke literally put himself on exile because of what he did to Kylo Ren, right? And like literally he was thinking about killing his nephew. That's a big deal. Like, okay. He hates himself for it, and obviously he pays the ultimate price that, you know, Kylo Ben turns and kills everybody, and basically starts the dark side as we know it now.
I think it just goes to show that for every shitty kid, there's like a bad parent.
Yeah,
they were raised bad.
Yeah,
so
I guess Han Solo and Leia, not very great either.
Kylo Ren didn't have to be a shitty person, but some stuff happened to him, and that's how he turned out.
He had a lot to live up to. So, but ultimately, like in the end, why I didn't like it was that I liked the movie. Sorry, I meant finding out Luke has passed. The reason why I didn't like that Luke has passed is that I felt like, because Rey says, I felt like he passed and it was peaceful. That's my Rey impersonation. And but I was like, really? Like, you fight him once as a projection and you feel fine? Like, that's it? Like,
that's all he needed.
That's all you need? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, to me, it just didn't make sense that he spent
all those years.
Yeah.
All those years, Kylo was like, man, if he would just fight me once as a projection, I'd be okay.
That's it. I would turn to the light side. Which is another thing that I thought about during this, is I was like, if Kylo Ren turned to the light side, right? Because we were really hinting about how he might.
Well, that was a cool thing, was like, who's gonna turn?
Yeah.
Rey or Kylo.
Yeah. But like, let's just say, Kylo Ren decides, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna turn to the light side. Like, okay, so if they're like, okay, great, thanks. And then are they immediately going to put handcuffs on him and are like, okay, thank you, because you just, like, he killed 4 entire planets. Like, he murdered 4 entire planets. He was a part of that. He killed tons of Jedi. Like, we can't just forgive him for that, right? Just because he's like, all right, well, maybe at the very last second he's just going to be like, you got me. I'll turn to the light side. Ugh.
Right.
So that he can.
And they're just going to be like, well, if you do that, then we'll excuse everything else.
Yep, I think everything's good.
It makes me think of that. Did you see the BP oil spill episode of South Park where they make the apology commercial and they're like, we're sorry, and he's like petting a seal? It's just like
That's hilarious.
Yeah, a half-assed apology.
Yeah, that would be funny if it was something like that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, but the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, like, how do we feel like the reaction? Because, like, so many people, like, I don't know if you saw on Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave it like a 93%, but fans gave it a 54%. Now, I'm not someone who goes on to Rotten Tomatoes and puts in my scores, and I know not every fan did this, but it was enough to tip the scales. Like, what is your thoughts about, like, fans reacting to this? Like, what do you think it's like? I don't know. Like, do you think it's needed? Do you think it's just, like, or why did they do that?
Look, Star Wars has been around for a while, and it has a very strong following. Their fans, like, their passion runs deep.
Yeah.
And I think no matter what you do with Star Wars, some of the fans aren't going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing. Like, you can't appeal to everyone, and yeah, they did some interesting stuff with the story, but that's what they're doing, you know. So it's like you either go with it. I mean, I guess it's okay to express your opinion, but yeah, it's people care very much about Star Wars, and they have their entire lives, and I guess there's just a lot of expectation with this new trilogy. And
Shaun, I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually have I was at PetSmart getting stuff for my pet, and I actually
what was that?
Yeah, actually,
Did you hear something?
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I invited a Star Wars butthurt fan to come and be on the podcast. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's see what they have to say.
I need to, I'm obviously obsessed with shit, so I'm gonna go step out and take one, and we're gonna get him on. So if you'll excuse me 1 second, let me get him.
Hey. Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Robert.
Robert.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you, Robert.
Your sound equipment is very ill. You're
Ill?
not great. No,
Thank-
this is not good sound equipment.
Oh, like I was thinking ill as in the good ill, but like you're saying
Okay.
like we need to step up our game.
Yes, you need 2 H4Ns, you need 2 Microsoft Surfaces, and then you call this water, you need purified, filtered water.
Alkaline. Yeah, no, I understand.
Alkaline, yeah, exactly.
So Watson says that you're here because you have some beef with the new Star Wars.
I do. I have some really big beef, and I think it. Don't laugh. I think that it's. Sorry, I'm a little intimidated by the live studio audience. Hi, my name is Robert.
Yeah,
everybody.
everyone give him a round of applause for Robert. Thank you.
Thank you for ending it quickly. So I have some beef with Star Wars, especially this last one. I think it's really bad.
Yeah?
Yes.
Now, the beef that you have, is it seasoned? Is it seared?
Okay, humor. I think that's my first problem with this last.
I
Star
need to stop
Wars.
laughing at you, Robert.
It's okay. My Star Wars shirt. The Chewbacca touching Princess Leia's boob is really funny. So, so that's my biggest problem though was the. Exhibit A, the humor. I think the humor in Star Wars made us feel like children. I feel like it was not, they could have had a little more highbrow humor. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think those porgs were basically the Jar Jar Binks of this generation. And I think
Were
it's
the
wrong.
porgs the little cute things on the ship?
Okay, you don't know what a porg is?
I don't know all the names of all the different species of Star
yes,
Wars. No,
porgs are the new gen. Oh my gosh.
they're the cutesy little guys.
Yes.
In the promo, there's a shot with.
It's almost all
There's a shot with
porgs.
Chewbacca, and there's the porg on the thing, and he's like,
Yes.
ah!
Yep, that's it.
And it's like
That
really, it's
son of a
supposed to
bitch.
be cute.
I hate it. I think it's stupid and it shouldn't have been on there.
You know what? It probably sold a lot of merch.
Well, good for them, but I'm a fan, for one, who's not going to watch the next movie.
You don't want to see how it ends?
I won't,
You've
unless-
seen 2 out of 3.
Well, they hurt me. So, I mean, unless Lando Calrissian makes an iteration, then let me tell you another thing. Rey, like, why is Rey in charge? Like, why is she a part of this? Like, I get it. She's hot. I think she's very pretty. I'd date her. What was her name?
So wait, you're saying that she's
Daisy
in
Ridley.
charge because she's hot?
I'm saying I would put her in charge because she's okay. Stop! You're making fun of me, and because you're making fun of me, the audience is now laughing.
Come on, audience. Let's keep it down for
Please.
for our guest.
Thank you. So, anyways, Star Wars is it needs to go into a new direction. Otherwise, it's going to end up like the prequels. And honestly, I feel like the prequels were better compared to this movie.
The prequels were great. How are you feeling about the spin-offs?
Like what?
Rogue One.
Rogue shit one, more like.
Oh, really?
I hated it.
Everyone else is saying that like that's been the best one so
I
far.
was so distracted because of the stupid the thing on Leia and what's his face.
I hear
I
you.
don't have to know all their names, okay? I know what porgs are. All right,
And that's
I know
all
what
that matters.
midichlorians are. Midichlorians are stupid. I watch Star Wars Machete Order, okay? Have you heard of Machete Order?
No, but you're talking about the Danny Trejo machete?
No, okay. You know what? That's it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave now.
Okay.
right.
Well, it was nice having you.
I'll come back anytime, but I'm done with this.
Can we have
So-
one more round of applause for our guest?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you.
And I think Watson's done shitting.
Yeah.
Watson?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
All right,
Watson.
See ya, you shithead. Awesome. All right.
So that was really fun.
Was
that
it?
was a good guess.
Okay.
Where did you find him?
Like I said, PetSmart. He was just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was buying beta fish.
Beta fish.
Yeah, I guess he just puts 2 beta fish in the same tank together and just
Like
lets
a
them kill each other.
Like a chicken
But
fight.
I guess, which is not a good thing. We shouldn't,
Or I'm sorry, cockfight.
Cockfight. Yeah,
Yes.
got to be politically correct.
Yes.
Wow. How did it go? Was that okay?
Like I said, the passion runs deep with these
Yes.
fans.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't like porgs,
Okay.
but I wish he would watch the third one. Maybe that one would change his mind.
Okay.
And if it didn't, at least he'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, well that one sucked.
Robert,
but we'll
if you're
move on
still
with our lives.
listening, that's our. I mean, he just stormed out here. He
Yeah.
just walked out. He grabbed some of my. I have spaghetti waiting for me out here. He took my garlic bread, and just walked out the door.
Just the garlic bread. What's garlic bread without spaghetti?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not him, and I don't know what happened. So, all right.
All right.
Well, all right. I think that ends that discussion on that.
Yeah, that's
great.
Those are our 2 topics for the day. Let's
feel free to discuss yours. Or, like I said, let us know what you guys think of Star Wars.
yes, email us at TDLApodcast, tweet us,
Tweet
all
us,
these things.
all that fun stuff. Cool. Sweet. So the next thing we have planned, I need to look it up. This is our first one, guys, so it's going to be a little rocky, but hey, excuse me, that's just how it goes. Is that right?
Yeah, if you want,
Okay.
if you had something for it.
I mean, sure. I don't know if we have music though.
I mean, I've got some sample stuff on here, but psychedelic guitar. Ooh. That sounds cool. I don't think that's the kind of tone for...
I'll find it and we'll pass it. So we won't do that. We won't do that segment.
Okay, then can we get into the one I'm excited for?
Let's see. Let me pull this up. Yes. Okay. Shaun, take it away. What's our next one?
So this segment, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to continue doing it in the future. This is called Don't You Dare Laugh. Me and Watson are going to go back and forth sharing video clips and trying to make the other person laugh.
Yes.
We have 3 clips each.
Okay.
So,
Well, this time around I only have one. But
okay.
after that...
Well, it's one, but it's a compilation, you said.
Yes.
Okay. So,
So how should we do it?
who wants to go first?
I say you're a little more prepared than me. So let's have you...
Do all 3?
However you want. Because I only have the one, remember. Or,
Okay.
well, the one compilation.
Okay, I mean, I thought if we did one at a time, you'd have time to calm down. But if I do all 3, it might you might not be able to hold it in. I don't know.
It's up to you. You pick.
All right, we'll do them, and then we'll play your compilation. And
Okay.
so a little context.
Yes.
This first clip is, and I hope you haven't seen these because
Okay.
a couple of these have already gone viral. But have you seen the drunk Scottish man trying to say "purple burglar alarm"?
No, I have not.
That's exactly what this is.
Okay, great. So am I listening to it or are we watching it?
It's just an audio.
Okay, let's hear it.
So drunk Scottish man saying trying to say purple burglar alarm.
Okay.
Purple burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm.
No.
Fuck off, Dean.
Purple burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm.
A purple burglar alarm.
Purple. Purple. How fucking hard is this? Purple
Don't you dare laugh.
burglar alarm. You with that.
This is really hard.
Okay, I'll pause it.
Okay. Oh man, that
The
was
video's
rough.
pretty good.
That was rough. I couldn't handle that. Oh, I didn't break, but
Good job.
That
Good
was
job.
hard.
Because I was trying to start strong.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to start strong. Oh,
What did you
my
think?
goodness. Dude, well, so like, I'm interested to see the video. So it's like, a
They're just
dude-
like standing in a parking lot at night. They've
Some dude's
obviously
drunk.
like maybe outside of a bar,
Okay.
and it seems like it's a group of British people, and they've got like a Scottish friend with them,
Oh man.
and he's shithouse.
Oh jeez.
And I don't know why he can't say purple.
Purple burglar alarm. I have to think about it though. Purple.
Oh.
I'm drunk, guys. Purple burglar alarm. There we go.
Yeah. That's
That's fun.
One more go.
Oh,
Go, one more,
no,
one
we're
more.
still
hold on.
a little more.
Purple
Take 48.
burglar.
Burglar. It's not even sounding right. It's not even.
Okay, we'll stop it.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh man, I always love those kind of videos. That was hard though. Whew.
Good job. I would
you.
say you passed the first round.
Thank you. I tried.
This next clip is really quick and simple. It's a mother teaching her daughter the planets.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jupiter, Saturn,
Uranus.
My anus.
What?
My anus.
No, Uranus.
My anus. My anus.
Oh,
man.
Kids are always the funniest, man. Kids are
Your
always
anus,
the funniest.
Watson.
Oh my gosh. You're right. I think it's getting harder and harder as it goes.
My anus.
Ah! And now we have that sound bit into everything. Oh my gosh.
Good job.
Thank you. That's hard, dude.
I'm hearing like heavy breathing out of the nose, so I'll say that doesn't count as laughter just yet because you need to like break.
You're right, but from now on.
Okay, this one went viral in like 2014.
Okay,
It's
classic.
It's a street performer dude in New York. He looks like Tom Hanks from Castaway.
Okay.
But he's actually gotten quite a following now. His name is Matthew Silver, and he's just crazy. He just like stands around topless and holds up cardboard signs that say love on them and gets people to dance. And this is someone asking him, what's the meaning of life?
All right, here we go.
Okay.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
To live and to live in a mystery and to find purpose and to
I love
live
the music.
in the now. Magic. Now.
He did the fart. I did not do the fart. He did that with his mouth at the very end.
So that's the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
To live in the magic.
Magic. Magic.
My anus.
Awesome.
My anus.
Is?
Magic.
There you go. You got me. That last
got
one
you on the
definitely
last
got
one.
me. Oh my gosh, that was like, that was hard. That
To
was
live in the moment.
So,
All right, buddy. Where's yours at here?
put it up here.
Trying
So,
to
like I
laugh.
said, I'm a huge fan of Vine. So this was a Vine that I fell in love with. This was actually towards the end of Vine, one of the last of these bad boys. So,
Just pulling it up here.
Gonna pull it
That's
up.
not it.
Give us a second. By the way, if you guys have any funny clips and stuff that you want us to watch to try and get us to laugh, there's always that option.
Yes, send us
Please
stuff.
send us stuff. Maybe we can do like a viewer inspired.
Yeah, we'll do a try not to laugh with viewer submitted
Yeah, that's a
material.
great idea.
That's a great idea.
That'll be fun. I made this really hard for Shaun, just so you know. I will make this much easier.
Well,
like
we
he
have
did.
we have a system now that we're gonna use. This is a little clunky for our first episode, but we got it.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Paste. There we go.
There it is. All right, here we go. Just gonna start right in. Oh, maybe this first. Let's mute this if we can.
I'm court host.
Whoop.
No, we can skip it right now.
Oh, skip it.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, everybody. We're figuring this out. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm not gonna laugh.
And you have to do the full thing.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Oh my gosh. Stop that. Okay.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Oh, we gotta skip up a little bit.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
We've talked about.
Let me speak.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Don't be rude. Hey, buddy. Hey.
Hey, Gravity Falls.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
So they're showing a bunch of different clips, and then they're
This is my
cutting
favorite.
back to.
This is my favorite.
Jesus Christ. That's
They're showing like people doing things, and then it's cutting to this guy saying, "Oh, it's Jason Bourne."
Yes. So yeah, this was a Vine trend that was happening for a while. But yeah, one of my favorites. We'll post this. But one of my favorites is there's a little kid, and he has a Mickey Mouse. You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were telling me something.
No.
He has a Mickey Mouse
Pinata.
and he's hitting it with the stick, and nothing's happening. So he just chucks the stick and starts beating it up, and then it goes to him.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Luckily, it's a short video, so we're still going. Here we go.
Jason Bourne.
I still haven't got him yet.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Your time is up.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
I got you.
Oh, I forgot not to.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Oh my God. Oh, nice. The old like Star Wars kid.
classic.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Well, I got you. So that was
That's
good.
true. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that kind of stuff. Like, I love when people just kind of like jump on, and that's what I loved about Vine. Okay, I know a lot of you out there are like, Vine sucks, but like what I loved about Vine was just the fact that it was basically just an improv game. People would come up with a meme, you jumped in on the meme, and then you just made a whole bunch of stuff. It was a lot of fun. So
Magic.
yeah, see, now we got to put in there, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
That's true.
Or maybe just Jason Bourne or something.
That was
Awesome.
fun.
That was way fun, and we'll have more fun with and I'll be a little more prepared with mine, like he does with the different clips. Oh,
Okay,
man.
our final segment.
Yes.
Believe it or not, we have listener email.
Boom.
And actually, I got a little song that I can intro here with.
Let's do it.
Listener email. Yeah.
Boom, baby.
So this is from Bailey. Bailey asks, who in the entertainment industry has had the greatest impact in the last 50 years? I'm going to go ahead and say he's asking the greatest impact overall, like on the world, not on us personally.
So in general.
And he doesn't say film he says, who in the entertainment industry has had the greatest impact in the last 50 years?
Man, let me think about that.
I'll throw mine out.
Yeah, go ahead if you already know.
I mean, it's going to sound cliche, but I'm going to say Spielberg.
Yeah.
I mean,
For 50 years, yeah.
the guy, he really changed the game with horror with Jaws.
Yeah.
And the cool thing he did with that is he showed that you don't always have to show the monster to scare people, and it was the hinting of his presence that was really successful,
Totally.
like seeing the dock move and seeing the water, and like you don't see the shark until the end, but you're still scared, and
Totally.
and that's masterful to be able to do.
Jaws
something
is
like
my
that.
favorite Spielberg movie, for sure.
Yeah, it changed the game.
Yeah.
And his cinematography is incredible. His storytelling, his attention to detail, and I think he's just influenced so many filmmakers after him. So that was a pretty quick, easy go-to for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just agree with you on that. I don't think we'll ever have another Spielberg. Like that's what's interesting is that I feel like film used to be very, very like limited to like who could actually like direct movies and stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays it's almost like, hell, if you can get a camera and like it's half decent, you could use your phone now, you could post it to YouTube, and you're a filmmaker, and there's a lot more directors like than back then, and I think he created that doorway for sure. And I mean, yeah, I don't think I've met someone who's like, I don't like Steven Spielberg's movies, but I won't lie, in LA you'll probably find one, because there's people out here who just love to be like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
But, cool.
All right. He also asks, what is something that LA does or doesn't have that Utah does that surprised you?
Oh, interesting.
It's a good comparison.
So that doesn't have that Utah has?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my mind when I met, I think it was your old roommate. She's like, "There's no Hawaiian barbecue out here," and I started seeing Hawaiian barbecue everywhere after that. I was like, "You're just not looking, I guess."
Yeah.
But what I haven't seen is Cafe Rio.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen
you have to go
Cafe
all the way
Rio.
up to like Santa Clarita to get.
Yeah,
Cafe
I guess,
Rio.
and so I guess they do exist, but like in our immediate vicinity, I have not seen one, and if you do not know what sweet pork is,
Mama,
yeah,
go get you some sweet pork, okay?
Sweet pork
and then
burritos.
thank us later.
Yes. Well, if you're ever like wondering what heaven is like, this isn't it, but it's like the closest thing.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say what I thought was really interesting. That Utah tends to have a little more friendlier people, and I think most small town people do. I'm not saying this is limited to Utah, but what I mean by that is when I first moved out here, I was like, in Utah, normally, when you're like walking down the street or someone or something, or like you're like at the mall or something, or like. When you see it, like if you and another stranger are walking towards each other, very normal thing to do in Utah is to like nod or say hi or like something like that. Nothing crazy or whatever, but like here in LA, it's like the first time someone walks past you and you say hi, they're like, yeah, how high do you want to get, man? Like, it's like...
like, what, you carrying?
Yeah, you carry? Like, what are you selling, bro? Or like, or like, everyone is so focused on themselves that, and to be fair, like, you're going to, like, if you ever move out here, or just notice this if you come out and visit, or if you do live here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. People are so in their own world, and like, they are so in charge of their own world. Their driving becomes that way. Like they're very much like not considerate of others. Well, I feel like smaller towns are like very considerate of others.
A couple of reasons that I think that is first, when you come from a place like Salt Lake or a small town like that, there's not a huge difference in like class. Mm-hmm. It's everyone's kind of middle class, and we're all kind of in the same spot.
Sure.
Whereas in LA, you've got extremely rich and extremely poor.
True.
And they're living like just
right
on top of each other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you have that those different levels of society.
Totally.
And then another thing. What was my other point? Oh, I feel like Utah is very like family oriented, and LA's like very just career oriented.
Totally.
And so like when I grew up in Utah, I mean, I was raised Mormon. The focus was like get married, have a family. This, that was kind of what they were telling you. Out here, it's like
get rich
become
or die
successful, doing whatever, just make money. So yeah, there's different priorities, and just the class, the classes are
totally
it's a stark contrast. So
totally, yeah. I think that's exactly a fair point. Yeah. Do we have any more?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Watson, since you love to shit.
Okay.
Would you rather take a shit whenever you hear All Star by Smash Mouth, or would you rather have All Star by Smash Mouth blare whenever you take a shit?
Okay, read that again. I want to make sure I understand this. This is a very serious question.
So when you are shitting,
yes,
you hear it.
Okay.
Or when you hear that song, you have to shit immediately.
Okay. Well, I feel like I'd rather be shitting and then Smash Mouth happening, because nowadays Smash Mouth is such a big meme now. I feel like you'd be just shitting all over the place and unexpectedly. Like he doesn't mention that you can control it or anything, right?
No.
So I think in my mind I'd rather just be in the Fox bathroom and just hearing somebody once told me the world. We don't
right next to some famous actor in the next song. He's like, oh, I love this song.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. Right. That's a good question. Nobody ever wants to shit themselves unexpectedly.
Exactly.
So I guess what you have to weigh is, are you okay with that happening once in a while when you hear All Star, or are you okay with hearing All Star like basically every day of your life?
Yeah.
Maybe multiple times depending on your diet.
True. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, and does he say All Star or is it just Smash Mouth?
It's All Star by Smash.
Oh man. I mean, it is their best song. Unless like, then I saw her face. But then to be fair, that's not even a Smash Mouth song. That's a cover.
That's true.
But
all right, so we got your buddy Jimmy.
Jim Bob.
I don't know if he's listening. Send us some questions.
I think he would, but
this one's pretty real. Just what do you do to stay positive?
Whoa. Well, I took the lead on this one. What about you? What do you do to stay positive?
Well, I guess I could start out by saying, like, yes, the first year in LA was an emotional roller coaster, lots of ups and downs, and I feel like this year I've got a handle on it, and
Nice.
that's honestly because I've been focusing on my health, like, and I don't know if I'm balancing my chemicals inside or what, but I feel better, I have more energy, and I'm not feeling down on myself at random points throughout the day. So
Totally.
so it's kind of a sustained positive feeling. I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's great. I need to try that. For me, like I mentioned,
you just smoke tons of mad weed,
Toad's
right?
weed, 420. Smoke
Just kidding.
weed
Watson
every
doesn't.
day.
He's never smoked, never drank.
No,
so.
I have not. I will say my positive, like how I stay positive is having outlets, and what I mean by that is also having outlets that have nothing to do with the industry. You know what I mean?
Because you don't want that to be your entire life.
Exactly. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to get burnt out really fast if that's the case. So video games are a big thing. Although this is like, entertainment, improv is a big thing because like you kind of just tell the world about what's happening. Yeah, so I'd say stuff like that. I'm a huge gamer. I love video games. But yeah, I think that's really important. In fact, I think like I read an article that talked about how one of Tom Hanks's biggest advices to give to people moving out here is to find an outlet that has nothing to do with the entertainment industry. So
Yeah. What else interests you? Besides like what takes up most of your time, like what else interests you?
yeah,
So, I get
absolutely.
Okay, so Jimmy has been thinking about doing a vlog. He'd like to get more traffic to his YouTube page. The first time I read this, I thought he was asking, like, how does he go about it? But he just says, should I do it? I say yes.
Yes, Jim.
Do it, Jim.
Please do.
Make content. I don't care what it is. Just make stuff.
Yes, exactly. Create stuff. Be constant. Have fun with it. That's the biggest thing, too, is, like, if it's not fun for you, find a way it's fun for you so you can stay constant with it. Don't do something that other people are doing or working for them. Do something that you can do that'll be constant so that people can watch your stuff.
Exactly.
So, perfect.
Good.
Thanks, man.
Here's a good one. Favorite place to eat in LA?
I'm going to have to say Grand Central Market.
Dude,
that is the place. If you are ever out in LA and need a place to go, Grand Central Market.
One of the first things that we did when I moved out to LA, besides watching Silence, the Martin Scorsese film, you're like, dude, I got to show you this food place.
Yep.
And we took the metro into downtown, and you didn't tell me what it was.
Nope.
I had no expectations going into it. I thought it was just going to be like one place, but it's like a food court, and it's It's one that I've never seen before, and I guess it's been featured on like Anthony Bourdain and
La La Land.
Yeah, it's very famous. There was a shot in La La Land in there.
Yeah. I always try and whenever someone's new and they're like, take me to LA, like, everyone takes, to go see the Hollywood sign, to go see this and that. I always want to give them LA that like not a lot of people get to see. And so anytime someone's new who comes in, I'm like, I know where we're going to eat. And Grand Central Market.
And you know what? My sister and brother-in-law came out to visit me last year, and that is exactly what I was like, we're going to meet me downtown. I'm going to show you this food place. And it made the same impression on them. They were like, this is amazing.
Awesome.
And they fell in love.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great. Grand Central Market.
Wow, they fell in love just because of Grand Central Market.
Well, they fell in love with Grand Central Market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I still need to show you the farmers market in like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills
Please.
area.
I'm a sucker for
I think
markets.
it'll have that same kind of impression. So
dope. I'm in.
Okay.
Thank
you, Jimmy.
I think we're
Whoops.
close to the last one, right?
We got a couple more in today.
Okay.
This is from my friend Andy.
Okay.
And he kind of geared it to me, but we can generalize it. He asked what inspired you to pursue animation when you were younger, but really just what inspired us to pursue our fields. I would say. And you take this one first.
Okay. I'll never forget when I found out that I want to make people laugh or get reactions from people, and it was at church, and I would watch these people go up to the pulpit, and they would give their talks and stuff in church when I was a kid, but then like one of them was like. They would put jokes in like their talks and stuff like that, and I was like, oh man, I had to be like 5 or 6 at the time. I was like, oh man, like they're so cool because they make people laugh. Like that's awesome. And at the church that I go to, they have this meeting where anyone can go up to the pulpit, and I remember they were like, anyone can go to the pulpit, so like kids go up there. So I went up there. I tried so hard to make them laugh, and I had jokes and stuff. No one laughed. My mom's just over, and she's just like, oh my gosh, sit down. But a couple weeks go by. I was like, you know what? I can't do it. I'm not going to be a cool person because I can't make people laugh. And what happened is I walk up to the pulpit, and I'm saying, my talking, doing my talk, and then I'm saying, I love my family, and God, blah blah blah, and I'm like, and I love my brother sometimes, and the audience erupted with laughter, and nice. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Nice. Throwing your brother under the bus for a laugh.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want to do. Is just throw my brother to laugh. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so that kind of sparked everything, and like my grandpa gave us his old video camera. I still have it to this day to just kind of remind me, and I just started making short animation things with Legos, and then it just kind of escalated. And so yeah, I'd have to say my brother because I threw him under the bus. But really though, it's like my family, and I would say if you want like specific people, because did he ask for people or just like in general?
Just what inspired you to pursue it.
So that was probably about that. My grandpa and just Saturday Night Live, and yeah. So
that's great. For me, honestly, when I was younger, I thought I was going to be an actor. When I was like 13, I went to a talent agency called W Talent, and I auditioned with them. And I did the monologue from Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock is talking to his arms. And he's like,
that's awesome. Yeah. How old were you?
13.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And they liked it. They thought it was really good. And I really had no experience, but I practiced it a lot, and I gave it my all. But they wanted like $2,000 to sign on with me, or for me to sign on with them, and I wasn't in any position to do that. So I just started thinking about it more, and I was like, well, I'm definitely like, I want to be in entertainment. And I was just like, well, I've been drawing my entire life. Like I used to draw my Pokemon cards. I would draw the images on those and stuff, and it just made sense. It clicked. And once I realized like animation, it just made sense. And I've been pursuing it ever since. So it was really easy for me.
Awesome.
And then this is kind of an inside joke, but Andy asks, "Are pigs people?" So
I think that's a good segue to this. We almost forgot.
Oh yeah, okay. So we'll do that too.
We'll end with that. Yeah. I think we should end with that. I think that's
true.
A good thing.
But let's just give a little context to this question. Actually, so Justin Roiland created Rick and Morty, and you and I are both huge fans of him and Rick and Morty.
Huge.
And Justin had a podcast like 7 years ago called Grandma's Virginity.
Yeah.
And it was him and Ryan Ridley and Jackie Buscarino. Ryan Ridley is now one of the lead writers on Rick and Morty. Jackie Buscarino has done like some voice work, I think, some writing and stuff.
And she was producer of I want to say Gravity Falls, but I don't know if that's right. She was a producer of a big show.
She worked on Gravity Falls. She worked on Flapjack.
Maybe Flapjack was what I was thinking of. And then she's done a lot of voices for like, oh my gosh, Adventure Time.
Oh yeah. So this was like in 2010 when really none of them had anything. Like the only thing Justin Roiland had really done was House of Cosby's, and it was really cool. Like as a fan to discover this podcast 7 years later. when he was still trying to make it, and you see like a progression of his career over time, and really that's the big inspiration for this podcast.
Yep.
So it's like it's for ourselves to document this point in our lives when we're still trying to kind of make it, and also on the off chance that if we do become successful and we do have fans down the road, this will be some extra content for them to dig through. So,
yep.
But in that podcast, Justin Roiland had a segment called "Pigs Are People."
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it was a joke. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go
just
ahead and
his
say
way
it was
to argue with
He's
people.
just random. But his idea was that when we die, we go in the in between lives area and we come back as pigs, and it's like this idea of reincarnation, but every other life is human and then every other life is a pig. So if we come back, we'll be pigs, and then when we die as pigs and come back, we'll be people. But are pigs people? I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna agree with you.
And just to, since now we're on the topic, and I did want to do this, my brother Bailey, he bought me the Art of Rick and Morty book for Christmas, and Justin Roiland wrote the foreword in it, and it's hysterical. And you haven't listened to it yet.
Nope. And I think this is the perfect way to end, in my opinion.
It's just a page, and it's really entertaining. It seems like they contacted Justin and were like, "Hey, we need you to write a foreword for this book," and he was just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Okay,
so,
here we are.
It says, "Look at this foreword by Justin Roiland. So you bought an art book today, or you're just looking at one and you haven't purchased it, or you bought it online and it just arrived, or it's your friend's and you're just checking it out, or you stole it, or you're in a waiting room and it was on the table or something and you picked it up. In all cases, one thing remains a constant. You're holding a book in your hands and you're reading this part of the book right now." This is the foreword of the book. You're reading it right now. Pretty soon you won't be reading it anymore. You may never read it again. You will continue about your life, grow old, find love, lose love, find love again, maybe have kids, maybe not. Eventually the time will come where your body will give out on you. Your remaining years will be spent in pain and on lots of pharmaceuticals. Your loved ones may or may not be there for you during this time. You may be alone. It's possible you may even have outlived everyone you ever knew. Congratulations if you managed to pull that off. You lived the longest. But after some time, your body will shut down and you will leave this world for good. This will happen later on. Right now, you're still hanging out somewhere, holding this book and reading this incredible foreword that I wrote. What a foreword. Are there awards for book forewords? If so, I think it should be nominated, and I think the awards should be called the Forewordies, because isn't that the standard bit, just taking a thing and adding an ease at the end of it? For example, an award show for murderers would be called the Murdereries. Anyways, I guess I should talk about the contents of this book a little bit. So, you're holding an art book for Rick and Morty in your unwashed, germ-covered hands. Our Season 3 writer's assistant busted his ass with the team over at Dark Horse to sift through a ton of art and stuff. We really put a lot in here. If you haven't bailed on reading this foreword already, you'll be finished soon, and then you'll be able to look at all the incredible art that our super talented team has tossed together over the first 2 seasons. Lots of great stuff in this here book. Seriously. The show wouldn't be as amazing as it does without the crazy awesome skills of all our artists. The worst part of this book, you might be asking, this foreword. The foreword is the worst part. You probably thought it was going to be filled with funny words like gloopies or schloomy schleebs. Maybe you even thought I'd invent a wacky character, something like Milk Chocolate, a man made from chocolate. He could be a newscaster that interviews celebrities or something. Maybe he has a show called Movies Tonight with Milk Chocolate. I don't know. He's not in here. There's no milk chocolate. It's just a terrible, pointless foreword. But enjoy your time with it. You might not read it again, or maybe you'll read it to your kids, or maybe you're not even a human, but actually you're a robot, or a demon, or an alien or something. If that's the case, then whoop-de-doo, good for you, edgelord. Just kidding. One last thing I'd like to say. Since this foreword will outlive me, if you manage to finish this whole bullshit thing, I'm going to come haunt you when I'm dead. Get ready for some hardcore ghosting. I'm coming for you. Get your Ouija board out. Thanks. Talk to you late. Well, guys, that was our first episode of the TDLA podcast. That's Two Dudes in LA.
Yes.
If you liked what you heard, go ahead and give us a rating. And if you want to go the extra mile, also give us a review.
Yep.
And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TDLA Podcast. And if you have any questions or you want to send us content, email us at tdlapodcast@gmail.com.
Totally. And honestly, I just want to thank Shaun for coming up with this. And I'm really excited to see what guests we can bring on. And we're just going to have fun together. And I hope you guys enjoy and you come on this journey with us as well.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.